everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany. I make bookish content. Today we are doing a fall TBR video. I've seen so many of these lately and it just gets me so excited for the fall and spooky season. It's overcast today and raining, so I'm like super in the fall mood even though it's not really that cold outside. I spent this morning going to a coffee shop and getting a pastry and coffee and walking around in the rain, and the leaves are starting to change. It's just so pretty. I'm going to be going through some of the books that I want to read this fall. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get through all of them, but one can dream, right? So starting with Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a paranormal romance and it's about a vampire and a werewolf that have a marriage of convenience so that they can make an alliance between the werewolves and the vampires. I'm super excited to read this. I've only read one of her books and I'm just excited to read like a vampire themed book this fall. A Love Letter to Whiskey. I don't know if this is even like a book that would be read in the fall, but it just reminds me of fall. The color, I think, reminds me of fall, and I love toxic romances, and I've heard this is a really good standalone toxic romance, and those that enjoy toxic romances like me and enjoy like the Addicted series and everything have recommended it, so I think it'll be super good. And I'm excited about it. I'm not exactly sure what it's about. It says, I saw him first, but it didn't matter because he saw her. He was my best friend and I was his. We couldn't be together, but we couldn't stand to be apart. And if you're not truly lovers, but you're so much more than friends, what exactly are you? So I'm really excited to read this one. A City of Gods and Monsters. This is spooky fall vibes, and I'm so excited to read it. I have heard great things about it. It's a big book, but I think it'll be super good, and if it's as good as people say, I should be able to read it pretty fast, even though it's huge. I don't really know much about it, as vampires, werewolves, witches, and other supernatural creatures, and then the main character is a human, and it's like an urban fantasy. Darien Castle is the leader of the Seven Devils, which is the most feared dark slang circle in the city. His job is tracking down demons and criminals. And for some reason it says the human girl in this book is one of the individuals that he's supposed to track down, even though she's human. And so I think it's a romance between them. Zodiac Academy. This is a dark academia. It has vampires, fae, dragon shifters, it says. Super fitting for like October, September, which is turning fall. And I just started reading this actually on my Kindle, because it's on Kindle Unlimited too. It's about these twin girls who think they're just mortals. This is on the back of the book, so I'm not giving anything away. But they suddenly, kind of like Harry Potter, get taken to this supernatural university and they had no idea that the supernatural world even existed. It's set in this academy setting and them learning that they have magic and everything. So I think it'll be super good, and I've heard that this world is super addicting and that the characters' relationships and like all the drama that goes on is kind of like similar to like the Vampire Diaries TV show. I love the Vampire Diaries TV show so much, so any book that will give me those kind of vibes, especially in the fall time, I'm here for it. So I'll do a reading vlog about this one and let you guys know what I think, but see if it lives up to the hype that I hear about on TikTok and everything. Speaking of the Vampire Diaries, this one just happened to be the next book in my stack that I was going to talk to you guys about. I really hope I like this, y'all. I know it's so much different than the TV show, but I just really want to be obsessed with a book series as much as I was obsessed with the Vampire Diaries TV show. And I know this is I don't know. So I've heard mixed things about this. I heard some people say this book series like sucks, but like it has to be good if it was made into a TV show, right? And it was based on this. So I started listening to the Stefan Diary, like the first in the Stefan Diaries books on my Libby app, and I'm not liking it. Like I'm gonna DNF it, but I don't think it's necessarily because of the book. The narrator, his voice is he just annoys me. He talks just like Bill Compton in True Blood, and I can't get past his voice. Like he's just doing like this, it just seems like a dramatized, like butchering an accent, I guess Virginia accent, but I just can't get past his voice, and it doesn't sound like Stefan in the show, so I'm just like, I can't listen to this. So hopefully this book is better than that experience. This one's actually about Stefan and Elena meeting each other, but the Stefan Diaries I think is just the flashbacks in the Vampire Diaries of when he first became a vampire. So Elena's not in it. Catherine is, but I don't know if you guys won't have a clue what I'm talking about if you haven't watched this TV show, and if you haven't, you really should watch it, especially in the fall. Oh my god, if I could watch the Vampire Diaries show all over again, I would pick doing it in the fall. But this is basically just about a human who falls in love with a vampire, and it's set in high school, and it's also a love triangle. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm very excited to just read a bunch of vampire books this fall. My sister has been like so annoyed of me that I haven't moved this up on my TBR faster, but I feel like I'm saving it for the perfect time this fall. I'm going to read Fourth Wing. Yes, I have not read Fourth Wing, guys. And I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because it's just so hyped up, and I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I don't know why I have just been like avoiding reading it, but I'm finally gonna do it, and I feel like this fall is the perfect time to start, the perfect vibes, perfect weather and ambiance to be reading this book. So I'm sure everyone of you have heard about this book. I'm pretty sure Xaden and Violet's family are enemies, so excited to finally read this. Ooh, another vampire book. I read this a couple years ago and it was super good. I don't really remember it much, but I think there's eventually a love triangle in this series, but it also has vampires. It's an academy setting. I'm seeing a theme here with my fall TBR. Academy setting, vampire, fantasy, and I think human goes to supernatural academy, isn't aware that supernatural people or creatures exist, and she falls in love with a vampire. It's totally up my alley and totally on, it's just totally perfect book to add to your TBR for fall. So run, don't walk. But I'm really excited. I'm gonna do like a vampire reading vlog for you guys to watch and give you guys my thoughts on all of these different vampire books and whether I recommend them. The City of Bones, first in the Mortal Instruments series. This series is pretty old because I remember it was really popular when I was in high school. Cassandra Clare is a popular fantasy author. I know she writes just a lot of young adult fantasies, but she's got adult fantasy novels too, I think. And I just heard so many great things about the Shadowhunters world, and she just has so many books in this series, so I'm just really excited because I know there's like just a bunch of different spin-offs that are in the same universe. So I just need to start it. It has a mortal who comes across the supernatural world that she didn't know was real. So similar to some of the other books that I have on my TBR, but these creatures are unique because they're not like vampires or anything like that. There are vampires in this book though, I believe. But the main characters are Shadowhunters, which are demon hunters. I think it also has a lot of forbidden love in it, and I think it's perfect type of book to read in the fall. Fallen. I honestly don't know what this is about, but it is dark academia setting, I think. I know it's definitely set in academy, and I believe it's supernatural, but this says, there's something achingly familiar about Daniel Gregory. Mysterious and aloof, he captures Lucy Price's attention from the moment she sees him on her first day at Sword and Cross boarding school in Savannah. He's the one bright spot in a place where cell phones are forbidden and the other students are screw-ups and security cameras watch every move. Except Daniel wants nothing to do with Lucy. He goes out of his way to make that very clear, but she can't let it go. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame, Lucy has to find out what Daniel is so desperate to keep secret, even if it kills her. So this also sounds like enemies to lovers. It has several in the series, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I feel like just the way the cover looks, it's just so spooky. Perfect to read in October. The Tenant. I just picked this up from the library. I love Frida McFadden books. I've read a lot of her books, but she has a lot of books that I have not read. She writes a lot of thrillers, but I usually am never disappointed in her thrillers. They're always super, like, if they don't catch me by surprise, it's fine, because I always have a good time reading her books, and they're such easy, bingeable reads. And I feel like thriller is a perfect genre to read in the fall, especially like October, when you just want like a spooky book. It says, Blake Porter is riding high until he's not, fired abruptly from his job as a VP of marketing and unable to make mortgage payments on the new brownstone he shares with his fiance. He's desperate to make ends meet. Enter Whitney, beautiful, charming, down to earth, and looking for a room to rent. She's exactly what Blake's looking for. Or is she? Because something isn't quite right. The neighbors start treating Blake differently. The smell of decay permeates his home. No matter how hard he scrubs, strange noises jar him awake in the middle of the night, and soon Blake fears someone knows his darkest secrets. Danger lives right at home, and by the time Blake realizes it, it'll be far too late. The trap is already set. Sounds creepy. And so I will definitely be reading this in October, because it's very spooky, and I'm excited. The Cruel Prince. I saw this at my library also, and I've heard good things about this. I think it's a duology. Not sure. I think it is. And the second one's called The Wicked King, but it was in my the young adult section, but like I was telling my husband, who cares? Like, even though I'm an adult, I can still read young adult fantasy books. They're still super good. And I don't really know much about this. I just know that it's popular, and it is fantasy, which is perfect for fall. This says, Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous high court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest, wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. So it sounds like it has, like, I don't know, like a competition, and it has Fae. So I think it'll be good. I am excited to try it. And also, if it really is just a duology, that's way less intimidating than all these other long series. I just finished Throne of Glass series like a month ago, and that took me so long because there's so many books in that series. And now I just started Zodiac Academy, and there's like a million books in that series. So I need one that has less. Okay, these are the final books on my fall TBR. I don't know if I'm going to get to them, but because I'm like in such a vampire mood, I just have to go back to the OG vampire book series that I fell in love with vampires in the first place. Twilight. Yes, I want to reread this entire series, and I've never read Midnight Sun because she took so damn long to release this book, and I was already kind of like over the series by the time she finally like released it and got over whatever she was pissed off about because they leaked it early, and then she was like, oh, I'm not releasing it. But anyways, I've never read this book, so I want to reread Twilight and then read Midnight Sun from Edward's perspective. If you didn't know, it's Twilight from Edward's perspective, and then finish off the rest of the series. And I want to do a reading vlog with me rereading this lovely series and reading Midnight Sun for the first time. So I feel like these are the perfect books to read in the fall too. And did you guys hear that they are putting the movies back in theaters in October? So no better time than to start rereading the series as well and rewatching them in theaters. So that is my humongous fall TBR. And there's no way I'm going to be able to get to all of these in the fall, but that's okay because these would make great books to read in the winter too. And I will be getting through all of these eventually, hopefully before the end of the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed these fall book recommendations, and hope you guys are doing something to get you into the fall mood too. Get yourself a pumpkin spice latte and a book and just cozy up on the couch, and I hope you're having overcast weather like me, and just get into the vibes. Light a candle, put out your fall pumpkin decorations, and escape into a fantasy world, preferably with vampires.